Our theme for the whole month of July has been looking at spiritual solutions for when the weather gets hot. We've been spending time taking apart the different kind of heat that comes from the summer, and it's really pretty much heat, and more heat, and the heat's not done because this is the last Sunday we're going to be talking about heat. We spent Sunday talking about the value of the fiery explosion of fireworks and how those fireworks give us the gift of height so that we can see more. We have a greater sense of perspective. We've talked about finding refuge in the shade, looking at that shadow self of ours and befriending it. We've looked at the Beatitudes, looking at how mercy and expressing mercy is truly just responding to a heated situation with love. We looked last week, we were very brave. We looked at anger and the value of fully expressing spiritually and physically that anger that moves through our lives. And today, like I said, more heat, and hopefully the final bit of heat for a while. But keeping our spiritual cool is our individual jobs. Keeping our spiritual cool is the way we live, we move, and we have our beingness in the flow of love. A quote I came across this week was this one: "Life is a flow of love" by Harbhajan Singh Yogi. What kind of imagery comes to mind when you read that or you heard it? What do you feel? What do you see? What kind of things?
Flowing water.
A river.
Waves.
Flowing waves, flowing
Energy.
Flowing energy. I like how I can really almost see, but also feel that flow of energy that comes, that's so sweet and so, it's like tangible. You can almost taste it. And then the river that's wide and deep and strong. The rest of the quote is this: "Participation is requested." Now, what does that mean? What does that mean when it says participation is requested? Is our participation separate from the flow of love? Because if it is, I don't like that idea at all about being separate. Is the river something that we have to get into in order to feel that flow of love? Or is the participation merely an invitation to broaden our perspective, to bring ourselves into an awareness that we're in that flow? I know for me, I most want to participate when I've gone out of the frying pan and into the fire. You know what I mean? It's like when you're in a discussion with somebody and you said that one thing that you were trying not to say, because really what you've done is you poured gasoline on the fire, right? Or you are in the resolution of an issue. You're in the resolution and you're doing all these things, and then all of a sudden you do that one thing that you wish you hadn't done because it's going to bring up that place that you can go to, as Reverend Roxanne says, when you're in a handbasket. It just brings that up. It just ignites that fire and really puts us all into hot water. So it's the hot water situation that really, where I start craving that invitation, that reminder, that participation to be in the flow of life. Because really what I'm doing is I'm calling in serenity, I'm calling in a higher consciousness, but if I'm truly calling it in, it doesn't matter if I'm a wet, burning, smoldering heap of nervous anxiety on the floor. You may have heard that worry is negative prayer. And I think in our culture, in our society, in our world, there's a lot to worry about. We live in a crazy world. It's crazy. There are wars. There are conflicts. There are persecutions. There's violence. There's crime. There's economic uncertainty. There's natural disasters. There are political uncertainties. There are divisions. There are diseases. And there's death. And if that's not enough to keep us boiling in that hot water, I don't know what is. But as we engage in that worry, as we experience that kind of anxiety, we're really participating not in the flow of love, we're participating in that flow of anxiety. And what fuels that anxiety? It's our fear. It's our fear of not doing something right. It's our fear of making a mistake. It's our fear of not being able to do something, or we can't do something, or it's our fear of being discovered as unlovable. It's our fear. It's like all of those fears. And it's a crummy feeling to be tangled up in those knots of anxiety. Self-love is actually the antidote. Because when we're so tangled up, even people who mean really well, friends perhaps who really mean very well, they'll give us spiritual counseling. But if we don't have eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart that's open to receive, all of that spiritual counseling won't do any good. So the antidote is self-love. 2 Timothy said, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power and love and self-discipline. That self-directed love that we can participate in, that's where the discipline lies. That's where the discipline lies, is to self-direct love inward. Self-love inward, so that we can be open to the graciousness and the goodness of God, so that we can be open to the graciousness and the goodness of others. This foundation of self-love that we can build as an expression of the divine is what opens our eyes to see and our ears to hear and our heart to receive. But we continually loop back. And we loop back, and we loop back to fear. Deepak Chopra has a 3-step how-to for getting out of that loop of fear. And he says step number 1 is get out of your mind and back into your body. It's easy to say, but it's not always easy to do, or we think it should be easy, then we make up another story, because that's what our minds are really good at. Or making up stories and getting us all zinged up. Here, have some self-care. Play a game of tennis. Here, have some self-care. Play a game of bridge. Here, have some self-care. Get a massage. My mom used to gift me with massage when my kids were growing up, and she knew I needed it, because here I was, the mother of 2 boys, full-time mom, full-time job for pay, full-time volunteer for enrichment and fun, full-time housekeeper, full-time chief cook and bottle washer, full-time chauffeur. You know what I mean? It's like all of those things happening at the same time. And I would go get my massage, and the masseuse would say, you know, you really ought to release and let go. And I'd be like, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. And then the masseuse would say, you know, it's my job to take out the pain and the tension, and I can do my job if you would just let go and breathe, relax, trust me. And I'd be like, I'm trying. But my mind was like, zzz, all the time. But get out of our mind and get back into our body. It's as simple as stopping. We don't always feel comfortable stopping because, oh my goodness, we start to feel what's going on in our bodies. And sometimes what we feel going on in our bodies are those knots that are around our bellies. There are those contractions that we feel. It's the sadness that we're pushing down. It's all those worries that we're compacting inside us. But the easiest way to get back in our body is with the breath. Breathing in, having the breath go all the way down around our belly and back out through our nose. This is where I love to imagine myself at the beach. At the beach, the air is, well, it's softer and it's warmer and it's clean and refreshing because it comes off the sea. So I imagine myself at the beach with that fresh ocean air coming in, going down around my belly and then coming back out. And then Deepak Chopra invites us to give a yawn. Give a yawn. as you breathe, and make a sigh and maybe even a sound, which is okay at the beach because the sound of the breeze is going to carry that away. So out of our mind, back into our body. And once we're back in our body, then we can actually unblock those fears. We can start releasing those fears that mostly come naturally, and if we weren't so anxious, could flow right on through. But clearing the fear response. Clearing the fear response. So whatever it is, and here's just a few, we're each unique. We have our own signature anxiety holder on or personas. But let's say you notice you're shivering and you're cold. Well, the antidote then is to take a blanket, wrap yourself in that beach towel or that blanket, and shiver until you're finished. If you're contracted, plant your feet in the sand and reach your hands up to the sky and twist and stretch and move. If you're contracted, melt those edges. Take that warmth of the sun and melt those edges of your heart. And then finally, if you find that you're so anxious that you're unable to speak, in my former life, in my former relationship with the former husband, I used to get to the place where I'd be like, I couldn't speak. So the antidote, the self-love move, is really about allowing sound, making a noise. It doesn't even have to be words. In fact, sometimes it's better if it's not words. Just make the sound. And this is where being at the beach is such a huge gift. You can get in the water and make any noise you want. The water is big enough, the ocean is deep enough that it can take it. It can take it if you start out with a humming, blowing the bubbles and humming, or if you make the it's okay. The ocean can take it. And what a beautiful movement of spirit. You know, this really doesn't take much more than 3 minutes. It can take 10 if you've had this for a long time. But I wouldn't say take more than 10. Give yourself 3 minutes of moving, stretching, melting, insulating, making those sounds to move and unstick those places. This is spiritual work, this body stuff. Spiritual work, which leads us to step number 3, which is amplify the natural state of relaxation, because you'll find you'll be like, oh, you thought you were making sighs and yawns when you were breathing, and after this work you're like, oh, you've created a space for all that goodness that is yours to come in. That you've expanded your capacity for goodness. You've opened yourself up and allowed spirit a place to be in you. The ocean, the beach, it's a magnificent, right metaphor for so many things spiritually. Metaphysically, it's this. The sea represents the universal mind, that great realm of unexpressed and unformed thoughts and ideas that contains all potentiality. Individual consciousness is like an eddy in the ocean. All the elements that are found in the ocean are also found in the eddy. Every eddy may, in due course, receive and give forth all that is in the ocean. We are the eddy in the ocean. We are an eddy in the sea of infinite potentiality. We are that unformed, unexpressed magnificence. We are all of that. And once we remember and recognize our allness, then our eyes will be open to spiritual truth. Our ears will be open to spiritual truth. Our heart will be open to receive spiritual truth. So repeat after me. My eyes are open to see spiritual truth today. My eyes are open to see spiritual truth today. My ears are open to hear spiritual truth today. My ears are open to hear spiritual truth today. My heart is open to receive spiritual truth today. My heart is open to receive spiritual truth today. I am an eddy in the sea of all potentiality. I am an eddy in the sea of all potentiality. The water supports me. The water supports me. The water nourishes me. The water nourishes me. I give and receive love. I give and receive love. I am the vastness of the sea. I am the vastness of the sea. And so it is. Let's sing one of Daniel's songs, When I Pray, as we come into a time of meditation.
So much pushing and pulling, so much fighting and straining, so much laboring against waves and wind. I am tired, my arms are weary, my back is aching, my eyes are bleary. I think I'm finally ready to give in. I have struggled, I have cried, I have screamed inside about the kind of life I've tried to lead. Well, right now I think it's time, for the very first time, to lay down my body and mind and just be. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, gonna be alright. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. Down the walk or to the moon, round the world or just to my room, I can't say where I'm supposed to end up. I've resisted for so long, as if I could do no wrong, and it's never been quite good enough. It's a funny thing, I guess, this prideful human saying yes without knowing what I'm agreeing to. But there's a simple fact I find, the decision's never been mine. All I'll ever do is what I'm meant to do. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, gonna be alright. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. It's a scary thing for sure, to lay down my oars and quit pretending that I've ever been in charge. But it's scarier still to spend my strength and will and never even have a peaceful heart. So here goes the toughest thing. Ironic, don't you think, that it's so hard and so easy all at once? It's not laziness, it's just the deepest kind of trust that I'm okay when all is said and done. I'm okay when all is said and done. You want to sing that line with me? I'm okay when all is said and done. Once more. I'm okay when all is said and done. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, I'm gonna be alright. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. If I stop steering my boat, does it sink? Oh no, current carries it along just so. If I stop steering my life, I'm gonna be alright. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. I'll just go where the ocean says to go. I'll just go where the ocean says to go.